Hi, I'm Russ Lagan, the Real Estate Dude, and this video is on how to do a good real estate market update. If you haven't already watched the January real estate market update for 2018 or 19, I actually dropped that baby in just before I shot this video. That's where I populated all of this information, and this video is simply to talk to you about two things. Number one, why do you want to do a real estate market update? And then number two, how do you do a good real estate market update? And I want to point out a couple of things I do in the video market update so that you know how to do a good one, right? I've seen a bunch of people do horrible real estate market updates, and there's a couple of keys to making sure that people understand and it becomes valuable for them, right? So first things first, you want to make sure you gather the information for your real estate market update and get that information put together from a reliable source. Most of the time, your local boards have access to this information. Your state boards or your state organizations have access to this information. Your MLS data can be compiled depending on which state you're in. The MLS is pretty much where you can get most of the statistics. And worst case scenario, if there's nobody compiling this information for you, what you can do is go into your local MLS and pull up how many houses are active, how many houses are pending or currently under contract in your market. And if you take how many houses you actually have and divide by how many sales you have, that gives you what your month supply of homes is. Now, the cool part is most of your boards and MLSs compile this info for you, so you don't have to do the math on it. But if you need to, you can do that math. You can do it on that specific neighborhood, specific area, specific market for you, for a specific person if you want to. You can get real specific. What's the supply? What's the demand? And then what's the supply of homes? That's good info to have. So here's the thing. Real estate market updates from a real estate agent's perspective, this is priceless for you to be providing this information for buyers and sellers in your market. When we talk about building a business that comes to you and having buyers and sellers come to you and have people come to you and say, Russ, you're my guy, I want you to list my house. You're not competing with 10 other real estate agents because you're their guy, right? So by doing this and talking facts and figures and actual stats and showing them the numbers, not just telling them, showing them the numbers, you're actually making yourself look more like an expert. See, what happens is we look at credibility in the real estate market. You have to have two types of credibility in the market to be able to have people do business with you. You have to have professional credibility and you have to have personal credibility. So what we're doing is by doing these real estate market updates on a monthly basis, we're adding and adding and adding and adding and adding our professional credibility, which builds up people's ability to see us as a real estate expert, and it makes them want to do business with us, right? So can you imagine if you send this to every buyer and seller you have, everybody in your sphere of influence on a monthly basis? Would this improve your personal credibility? Would this improve your professional credibility and make you look more like an expert? Absolutely. So doing this on a regular basis, whether it's monthly or bi-monthly or quarterly, helps you actually establish yourself as a real estate expert. Here's one thing I know for a fact. If I talk like an expert, walk like an expert, dress like an expert, act like an expert, they're gonna pay me like an expert, right? There's nothing worse than when I talk to a real estate agent, they're like, I'm having trouble, I'm struggling, blah, 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 blah. It's like, are you acting like an expert, talking like an expert, dressing like an expert, and giving them information like an expert? Well, if you're not being paid like an expert, nobody sees you as an expert, right? So here's the good news. Your bank account is an indicator of whether somebody else thinks you're an expert or not. Because if they thought you're an expert, there's a good chance they'd be willing to pay you like that. So if you're not getting paid like an expert, it's really simple. They don't see you as an expert. So this is a kind of thing that really helps out with that. So think about this from, let's say you're a recruiter for real estate agents, or let's say you're building your own team and you want to attract other real estate agents to your team. If you become the real estate agent in the market that's giving all this info to the other real estate agents, do you think you'd be building a pool of people that are going to see you as an expert? And then when you want to add somebody to your team, these are the people that know this information. These are the people that you've been delivering value to. This is something that they'd say, hey, that guy's an expert. When he calls, I'm going to pick up the phone, right? So I call a real estate agent, they're on my list, I send this to them on a monthly basis or bi-monthly basis. I'm their expert on what's going on in the real estate business. So now instead of me having to chase them, I call them and say, hey, Russ Lagan, the Real Estate Dude, I'm the one that does the real estate market update. Hey, I was going to be in your area, you want to grab a cup of coffee? Boom, they're like, heck yeah, man, I'll talk to that guy, right? Because that guy knows good stuff. He's probably going to educate me a little bit. He's probably going to be somebody I want to hang out with, right? So instead of chasing realtors to build your team, instead of chasing agents to build your company, you start providing a real estate market update to everybody on your team, to everybody in the market that you touch. You become their expert, and then they want to do business with you. So here's a couple of things you want to do to make a real estate market update on video work really well. First things first, you will notice if you watch the video before on the actual update, what I did is I had all the stuff in black and the underlines, that was already filled in, right? Because it's really hard for you to write and talk at the same time, but I want to leave some key pieces empty. So two things. Number one, I'm doing something on the video instead of just staring at you like this, right? Or staring at you like this. Or you got a picture of the dude with his camera sitting on his table and is shooting a video up his nose, right? I'm looking up at his nose hairs and then the top corner of the room, right? If you can see the top corner of the room, you don't have your camera set up high enough, right? So set your camera eyeball level with you, straight ahead of you, stand up. It engages your core, it engages your energy, gives you a little more oomph in the video thing, right? And it helps you project a little bit better, right? So when you get that set up, then you pre-populate this stuff, start filling in the information. It gives them something interesting to watch, right? So again, remember earlier, just a minute ago, I said, show them, don't tell them. Because a lot of times we talk, and it makes it hard to miss, right? But this info is right behind you here. So I said, how many sales? 48,161. Boom, it's right there behind me. Now you can reference back to that, right? It makes it stick. See, if I make it just auditory, you miss something. Because you got the visual that goes along with it. So now you add the visual, does it make it stick a little bit better? Absolutely. So use visuals, show them what the numbers are. You can use a bunch of different formats for this. I happen to like this, it's just easy, right? And it gives them a graphic of like what's going on, right? Total inventory. You'll notice when I talked about total inventory, I talked about 2019, the end of 18, and then I talked about what was going on the year before. So if I said total inventory is 11,506, that's great, right? But was that good? Is that bad? Is that up? Is that down? So you always have to contrast it to something. So I always talk about where was it a year ago, and is it going the right direction, going up or going down? If I said 11,500, you'd be like, okay, great, that's good. Or is that bad? I don't know. Heck, most of the real estate agents don't know. That's why I do these videos, because I tell them and I'm the resource for the information here, right? So when I show them last year's number, last year's 9,900, so it's up about 1,500 homes. Now it gives me the ability to say which direction is it going, right? So where is it now? Where was it? And how did you contrast that, right? Again, you go the same thing for sales. December of 2018 versus December of the year before, it's down a slight bit of sales right there, which actually then translates to the supply of homes. So you don't just tell them 2.9 months supply of homes, you tell them it's 2.9 months supply of homes, and that's up a little bit from a year ago at 2.5. And then you take your real estate experience and you use that to make it make sense for them. Tell the story. Again, you want to keep it short and sweet as you can, but you want to tell the story so it makes sense, right? 2.5 to 2.9, you go, oh my God, the sky is falling, the supply of homes is going up. Good, right? So in the video before, I told you that's good. 2.5 is way too low for December, January, February. When we get into June, July, and August with this, that means it's dropping down into the 1 month supply of homes, which is absolutely ridiculous for buyers to find a house. It's a real pain for buyers to find a house. Is that good for your buyers? Not so much. Is it good for your sellers? Yeah, because it drives house prices up. The problem is, it's not sustainable. So we want it to calm down a little bit. So that's where you as an expert can give advice and actually add information just based off of facts to make you look like a rock star. Okay, so the cool part is pre-populate your thing there, leave a couple blanks, fill a couple things in, and here's the fun part. Did you guys notice I just literally turn around and I fired the information and I write it into the blank? Do you know how I do that? Well, let me show you a dirty little trick. I don't know if you guys caught this. Do you see this directly up here? On the video, it might be a little tough for you guys to see, but in tiny little numbers, little tiny bitty numbers, I write on here what the stats are. This is 48,161, 11,500, 4,055, 2.9. I've got the numbers pre-populated up in the corner, and as I turn around like this, you can't tell I'm looking up here and I'm writing over here. It makes it look like I know the numbers off the top of my head. So you might be like, well, Russ, I don't memorize numbers that good. Neither do I. So I fake it till I make it. Fake it, make it happen, right? Write it down. If you're using a flip chart, you write this stuff down in big marker on a flip chart, and then right here in pencil, I write very lightly in pencil what the number is. When I turn around, it's written right there, and I just write over it in big black marker and make it stand out. So while you guys might think I just memorized a 5-minute spiel with a bunch of numbers, I didn't memorize that, right? This stuff doesn't stick in my head. So I have it pre-populated. So it's a great way to cheat. It's a great way to make it look like you know what you're doing, makes it look like you know your numbers and are all memorized, but they're all pre-written right here, so it makes you look like a rock star, right? So you guys will be shocked and surprised. You see a lot of people talking with teleprompters. You can see even Tony Robbins, when he does speaking stuff, he's got monitors down below that keep him on track of where he's going. So if he can use it, you guys can use it, right? So this is kind of a low-tech way of sneaking in some of this information, some of these numbers, to be able to do a good real estate market update. And you want to make sure, number one, you don't brand yourself too much if you're doing this, because then it eliminates your ability to send it to other real estate agents. So if you're a real estate brand, like me as a broker, running my own company, owning my own company, I would send this out to 543 different realtors. And I always just said, hey, I'm Russ Lagan, the real estate guy. I didn't brand myself with it because I don't want to scare them away. And I also want them to be able to use it and send it to their buyers and sellers. You might be saying to me now, hey Russ, well, why would you want them to do that? Well, because, hey, then I'm delivering value, right? I'm a resource for them. Here's the fun part. I send it to them and they send it to their potential buyers and sellers in sphere of influence, and they promote it as this. And I always taught them how to promote it like this. Hey, this is Russ Lagan. He's a real estate guy in town. And he sends this to a small private group of people. And what I did is I thought you'd get a kick out of it, so I'm gonna let you take a look at it. And what happens is people feel like they're peeking behind the curtain and taking a peek at the Wizard of Oz, because they're getting something bootleg that's being sent out to just people in the real estate industry. So it kind of makes it feel like it's kind of a secret video about what's really going on in the real estate business. He only sends it out to his team, which I pretty much do only send it out to people on my team, or people I want on my team, right? So you become a real estate expert, you can become a resource, and if you become a resource, when somebody needs something, somebody wants to do a change, something changes in their life, you become a source for them for information, right? You become a source for helping buy and sell houses, you become a source for helping them take their real estate business to the next level. I've had many times real estate agents call me up and say, hey, Russ, I know this guy named Ian does this all the time. Hey, Russ, I really wish you'd start doing the real estate market update again, because I used to send it out to all my buyers and sellers, and I used to get sale after sale after sale because it helped them make sense on why they needed to buy or sell now. Please just send that out again. And I was a resource for that guy, and I just got a call from him a couple weeks ago, and he's like, dude, can you do a market update for me? I got to send it out to my sphere of influence. I'm like, heck yeah, dude, I'm doing it in a week or two. I'll send it out to you. So when you do it for an extended period of time and then you stop doing it, people are going to notice. You might not realize it, but they're going to notice. Watch your YouTube channel. You can watch those views go up. And when somebody sends it out to their sphere, you're going to watch those views go up. And that's when you know you're making a difference. And that's how you use a real estate market update to become an expert in your market. Number one, attract buyers and sellers. Number two, be a resource for information. And number three, you help the industry out. If you help enough people out, guess what? When it comes time, they're going to want to talk to you when it comes time to help you out, right? So I'm Russ Lagan again, Real Estate Dude. There's how to do a good real estate market update, the long version. I hope that was valuable to you. Enjoy. Do it soon. See ya.